Welcome, everybody. John Zager. Good afternoon. Bright and sunny here in Colorado, 70 degrees, clear skies. It's actually warm. I'm in my truck and I have not the air conditioner on, but I have the fan on, and I don't know, got to cool it off in here. It's pretty hot. So, good afternoon, everybody. How are you all? Yesterday was a good podcast about homelessness and the people that you encounter and that kind of thing, and I'm glad I did it. I got a little outrageous and I got a little opinionated, but you know what? I wanted to, and I did, and I feel better for having done that. Thank you very much. So today, I'm at my little park. What time is it? I guess it's 2:30 in the afternoon. There's lots of people here, and they're all walking around and doing whatever they do. I guess they take hikes and walk along the river and take pictures. And I don't see any kids. There ought to be some kids around here. But so anyway, today's topic, I will not go a half hour as I did yesterday. My apologies for that. But today's podcast is about mindfulness. I ran into a situation here earlier, maybe 3 hours ago. I'm not real sure. So I'm going to, this homelessness thing is kind of a part of my life, and I like to do research by talking to homeless people that are unemployed, have no income, seem to be struggling, that sort of thing. And I kind of want to see what they're doing and what their program is, or if they even have a program, and how they're getting by. And so as I had mentioned yesterday, sometimes I'll go to the rest area and talk to some of those people down there and sort of interview them. And today I went to the food bank here in the town where I live and just decided to walk around and talk to people and see what was going on, and grab a basket and go through the line and do all the normal things that everybody else does there. And I got there early so that I could talk to people, and I was just kind of wandering around and kind of going from one group to another, just saying hello and how you doing, and nothing in particular. And I saw one guy when I first got there sitting down at a bench. They have this sort of bench where you can go and sit. They have actually 2 or 3 of them. But he was down there by the street by himself, and Mexican guy, and looked, pretty healthy. And probably ate a lot of good tacos and burritos. And I thought, wow, now there's a guy I want to go talk to, man. Maybe he's got some funny stories or some good recipes he could share with me on how to cook some authentic Mexican food, because I love authentic Mexican food. I don't like the American Mexican food, but I thought, wow, this guy, I'm going to go down there and just sit on the bench, and there's nobody else there, just him, and I'm not going to be obtrusive or overpowering or anything, and just introduce myself and say, hey, what's going on, and how are you, and kind of lead into a conversation to where he might be able to enlighten me about something funny. He looked like a great guy to talk to. So I get down there and I sit down, and I kind of look back, and everybody else, there's probably a couple dozen people waiting in line before it opened, but they kind of looked at me down there like, I don't know, well, how does he know him or something? Maybe they know this guy. They clearly don't know me. And I noticed he had like a little thing over his shoulder. It would be his right shoulder. And there was a little, not cord, but some sort of, what do you call it? A tube. Some sort of a tube coming out of it and going somewhere into or near his shirt or something. And I have no idea what that was all about, but I had noticed it. And of course he didn't speak any English. And I don't speak Spanish worth a darn. I said El Paquito. Did I say that? El Paquito, which means small, and I was trying to indicate I just know a word here and a word there, and he, I don't know, he was trying to understand me, but so we kind of started the old sign language thing, and that always works. And what I got out of him, what he actually said was, in English, was colon cancer. That he had, I think that's the way it was, he had colon cancer recently and was cut open. And described, on his belly, surgery to cut out. And again, this is him trying in his best way to put a word here and a word there together. And me trying to understand what he's saying. And he's saying to me, he just 3 months ago had colon cancer surgery and had everything cut out. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just trying to follow along with what we're talking about. But that's what I got out of it. And he was trying to show me, the horrific surgery where he had been cut. And this thing around his shoulder was I'm going to say this, but I don't know this is true, but he described it, to the best of my understanding, as the cancer medicine treatment drug for his colon cancer. I don't know what it was. I just assumed it was drugs that went directly into the inside of his body to attempt and heal. I'm making that word up. Heal his colon cancer. We didn't get any further in the conversation with understanding one another. What other kind of treatment, or there was some indication that this had all been going on for a couple years. Maybe there was a long period of time before, he actually had to have the surgery. I don't know. And I asked him. I asked him if he had little bambinos, and he indicated 3 with his fingers, 4, 7, and 9, and they were girls, and a mama, his wife, a mama. And I tried to find out, because I didn't see his family anywhere. He was just by himself, and I couldn't figure out where his family was. I just assumed maybe they were at home and he had gotten himself here to get groceries, free food at the food bank for his family. I don't know. And I asked if he had any buddies or friends, or what did I say? What's the word for a male friend? Amigo. I think it's amigo, and he indicated he did have an amigo, which I believe is a male buddy. And I tried to find out if he had family, a mom, a dad, brothers, sisters. He did understand that and indicated everybody's in Mexico. And of course he can't contact them and they can't contact him. Down there they don't have internet, I guess where he's from. Up here they do. They can't cross the border. But somehow his family knows he has colon cancer and had surgery. But I don't believe they've seen him for a couple years. I'm not sure of that. And, I had gone over to sit down with this enjoyable-looking guy, figuring he would be telling me some jokes. And whew, my head just fell to my knees as he continued to explain to me the best he could the happenings in his life. And I looked in his eyes, and I don't know, maybe 3 times there was a look of there isn't much left, and he can't work and support his family, and I'm not sure if probably that he has no one. And he probably does. He probably talks to his wife and talks to his buddy, but I don't know that. It looked like a look of desperation. I don't know if it was a look of it's all over, I'm going to die, but it was a look of there is no life right now, and I'm not sure there's going to be one. I don't know what that means. It's just kind of a look I got out of his eyes, and I don't want to say that he teared up, but his eyes had some moisture in them, and he was grateful that I had happened to sit on that bench, and other people knew him, but nobody was sitting with him, evidently. So I sensed there was some pleasure in that. We went on up into line. They gave out the carts, and we all got carts and drove the carts up there. And he was in front of me, and he was very sensitive. He wanted me if I would like to go in front of him, and I said, "No, you go. You go ahead of me. I'll go behind you." But when we got up to the top, then here's the lady, which was his mama, his wife, and two of his daughters. Looked like the 7 and 9-year-old. And then they started interacting, and I just stepped back and, observed without being too conspicuous. And they were talking in Mexican, and I could see in his eyes the concern. I don't know, maybe he was in some pain at that time, I'm not sure. But I noticed in his wife's eyes, her head somewhat lowered, and there was a look of concern on her face, and a stare kind of into space of what's going on, our world and our family and our marriage and our kids and this colon cancer, and can our lives get better? I don't know. That's kind of what I got from just observing her and him as they interacted. So, mindfulness. Whew, where do you start with that? Obviously, they opened the place up, and we all went through, and we have these grocery carts, and they were right in front of me, and I paid attention to everything they were picking up. I was picking up, and I made sure I got some bunches of protein chicken, for them, and just I filled that cart all the way up. And not for me. I mean, I knew it wasn't for me. I wasn't there. So when we all exited, he was actually a little bit ahead with his wife and the two daughters, and they were walking down the sidewalk, I don't know, maybe 30 feet, 40 feet in front of me, and I hollered out, "Señor, señor, por favor, un momento." And I got up to them, and they were just about at the parking lot to where they were going to get into their old rickety car. And I said, I took out my wallet, and I have kind of a money clip. And I don't know how much was in my money clip. I just pulled it out, and I handed it to him. And I indicated, for you. And he took it with some reluctance, but he took whatever amount of money I gave him. I gave him every dollar, dinero, whatever was in there, I gave it to him. And I pushed my cart to him. They had their own cart in front, the wife was pushing, and I pushed my cart, and he didn't understand what I was doing. And I said, no, this too, this cart, all this food, you, I don't, he wanted to know about me, and I just said, no, this is for you. So anyway, I gave him whatever money I had in my cart with all the food, which I wasn't going through to get food anyway, but that's all I had. Mindfulness. If I were a millionaire, I don't know, I suppose I would have $100 bills in my money clip, as opposed to dollars and fives and tens and maybe a 20 here and there. I would have gladly just whatever I have. I mean, just it's yours. It is absolutely yours. This is not money that belongs to me. It belongs to you. And his disposition was not that of somebody who is angry or bitter or, angry or bitter. His disposition was kind and gentle. And somehow he conveyed to me, I don't know how, a concern for me and for my well-being. I'm not quite sure how he said that or how that came across, but I definitely got that. So kind and gentle. Here's a man who's working a program, who doesn't even know he's working a program, and has a belief system, an intention to get well, take care of his family, to get through whatever's going on, right? I mean, I'm interpreting this, and come on, you guys, I'm just interpreting this, and I assume his personality is different than maybe it was before. You know, we get sick because we do things that attract disease, right? I don't know him before. I don't have any idea what happened. I don't have any idea how he attracted any of that. But I know he's no longer attracting that. And that he's upregulating a lot of positive, healthy genes. So, by whatever means, he has made a transformation. No, I don't know if the guy's going to die tomorrow or next month or 50 years from now. He was a guy probably in his, 30s, late 30s. Maybe mid-30s? I'm not sure. Certainly not any older than that. But as a result of circumstances and events, he's definitely had a transformation. I blessed him. I said, God bless you. He did not understand that. And it doesn't matter. So, mindfulness. here, here, here is the last part. So this morning I get up and I decide I'm going to buy $100 worth of silver dollars, circulated silver dollars. I don't know, I guess they're called Truman. No, I don't know. At any rate, they still have these, the big silver dollars. They're not worth any more than $1. And I just thought, I'm going to buy $100 worth of those and give them out as gifts. When a kid turns 16, give them 16, or kid turns 12, or somebody that has a little birthday and you can't think of anything to get. When I was 16, my aunt and uncle gave me 16 silver dollars. I thought that was very cool, and I remembered it. And I thought, well, just buy $100 worth, and there's always people having birthdays, kids that and it's a way to. I've never had kids or been married, so I just thought, well, cool. I'll just do that, and I'll use it as a gift from time to time, and try to give them as gifts. Nice idea. So I went to 1, 2, 3 banks, and I was kind of treated poorly. And the last bank, they assured me they had hundreds and hundreds of these things, and not to worry, but it's not a bank I bank at, and I had to walk down a few blocks to my bank and get cash and walk back. And they said, when you come back, no problem, we'll make this work. We know for sure we have these silver dollars, and it's a great thing, and we want to help you out. Absolutely, it's going to happen. Just come on back down. And so I come back with my $100 bill, and they said, made a mistake, we don't have them. And I had been shopping around at, I don't know, maybe 3 banks up to that point, and I got upset. And I said, could I see the manager of the tellers or whoever? I don't know. And some nice lady comes out, claimed that she was the vice president of the bank. I don't know. Maybe she was. And I just said, I feel like I was just lied to. And they assured me and said, go on down and get the cash, come on back, and absolutely, we'll get you $100 worth of these silver dollars. And I say, I just feel I'm upset. Oh. And of course, she did everything she could to make it all right, and she went into the back vault, and of course, she comes out with $100 worth of silver dollars. And they're not supposed to have them, right? So I thanked her, did the transaction, and just went ahead and left the bank and headed out. Kind of felt bad for, I don't know, I guess I was a snotball, you guys. I sort of felt like, if you don't have the silver dollars, just say, we ain't got them. Some guy came in last night and we had $300 and bought them all. I don't care. Just say that. And I don't care about walking down 3 blocks to my bank and getting $100 coming back. It's okay to just say, I'm sorry, I actually went back into the vault and I was wrong in what I said, and we really don't even have them. We must have sold them last night. My apologies. Cool. But, I pressed it. Boy. How long did it take me to go from the bank to the food bank? 40 minutes later, 45, I'm sitting with this Mexican guy, and he's telling me he has colon cancer. After I just made a scene over not getting the $100 of silver dollars I was promised. Well, I actually got them later, but, it was a screw up. And that I had made a scene. And I went to sit down with him thinking, he's going to be a funny guy and tell me jokes. And starts telling me about his colon cancer and showing me everything. And my head just dropped to the pavement. I was so embarrassed. That I had acted the way I acted in the bank. And here's this guy. Here's this guy with colon cancer, and who knows, he could drop dead in a minute for all I know. And here I am, having done what I just did. So that's my story, and I'm not proud of it. Mindfulness, you guys, mindfulness. We never know, do we? We never know. I have nothing more to say. I've made my confession. Been totally honest. I'm not proud of it. And I will do a better job in the future being mindful. See y'all later. Bye.